Well, hello. You saw the video of me, hopefully I get to upload them, of the KZ400. Well, of course, a lot of busy work, a lot of frozen bolts and stuff like that, which is no need to have you watch that stuff. But as you can see, I've got the airbox all pulled apart, carburetors out of the bike, all the plastic off, gas tank, that kind of stuff. So now I am I'm disassembling the carbs, which I'm going to do my normal stupidness. I know it's bouncing around, I know. Sorry guys. So, there we go. Try to. So I don't know how much you're going to be able to see. Well, I'm not going to even worry about having my head in frame. But all I did is just pop the bowls off, and as you can see, they're in pretty rough shape. Just going to start disassembling them, put everything in there, get it in my ultrasonic, and make it happen. So that's what we're doing, and bear with me. And right. And let me get something better. These are pretty gummed up. Everything's coated in old fuel. Floats are in pretty good shape, so I don't have to worry about those. But the float needles, so that, which I'll do with this, that is a float needle. I don't know if you can see that very well. The biggest problem with these things are the rubber tip on the end. These actually feel pretty damn supple, but they harden so they don't sit against the seat, the metal seat down inside of here, which shuts the fuel off to the bike. Let me see if I can. There we go. That way you can maybe see a little bit better. There we go. That's better. So hopefully those will do. Things you always check. There's got a little spring load thing there. You always check to make sure that those are free. Look at the stuff dropping out of here. These little pieces, rubber pieces, they block off the low idle jet, and we're going to get a little PB and just let it soak a little bit down right there. Those, you never know whether or not those will come out of there for you or not, because they've been in there for a long time. This is a 1977. I'm going to check this year of that. Give me a second. Yeah, 77. Well, that's a long time. Okay. 8mm. Just the mains out of here. Those are amazingly clean inside, so not too bad. Then we have, these are your secondary air jets. I'm pretty impressed how actually, yeah, that one's pretty clogged. I tried running the bike on, I gotta turn this off. Hopefully it doesn't, sorry about the music behind there, YouTube. It was not on purpose. Fully clogged. And I'll use, somewhere around here I have my little snappy piece of wire, but I seem to have lost that. That's all right. We'll get those all cleared out. The hard part right now is going to be whether or not this. I'm trying to find my favorite. There it is. These things are. You never know if they're going to come out of there. That one felt like a turn. That one did too, but I want to try to get my smaller cob screwdriver in there. If I can find that, I should have found, there it is right there. Oh, look at that. Nice. When those jam, they're pretty much, if you can't get them out of there, the car bodies are pretty much useless. There we go. And both of those are fully clogged. This is like idle to quarter throttle, thereabouts. It's your low idle jets, so that's why they call them that. Or pilots, there's a lot of different names for them. So, that's done, that's clean. The seats down inside, they look pretty good. Alright, let's see if these will... Now another thing that can be a pain in the ass, in here we have our diaphragms. These are constant velocity CV carbs. And they work off of vacuum on the motor to raise the barrels to come up and down to allow fuel and the needle, float needle, sorry, the center needle to come up and down. So let's see if the diaphragms are perforated or hardened, then you got to replace them. And those are not easy to come by. These actually look pretty nice. Unfortunately, so what I'll do with those is I'll sandblast them and have to paint them. There's no getting around that. Just paint them black or something. So these diaphragms here, see, they're pretty supple, nice and soft still. There's your needle right there. And I think these are non-adjustable. But what I'll do is I'll pop those out of there and shim it, like say 20 thousandths with a little shim. Because these, all bikes came into the States running lean, just for EPA. And that'll give it a little extra fuel, and especially with the ethanol gas. So, let's see what this one looks like. These cobs are, I think they probably drained them, because there is not enough gas residue not in the bowls of this thing, which is normally looks like a black tar. So these look like they were drained, which is pretty impressive. Most people don't. And this one looks good too. Wow. Not bad. I think those are going to be just fine to reuse. All right. And we're just going to give them a shot. There's a little piece here that really doesn't have to come out, but you'll see if I can get one of them out, and I'll show you. There it is. This is what this needle slides down into and meters the amount of fuel that it goes in. Sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't. If they don't, that's it's not no big deal because they're pretty easy to work with. Bear with me. I'll try to find something I can just give it a tap with. Something soft. That might work. That one doesn't want to come out, so I'm not going to force it. Like I say, the only reason I take them out is so that they don't get lost in the tank or something. And also, I'll leave those in. So everything really. These have a flapper so that when the choker's on, it doesn't just shut the bike off. It's actually grabbing some air. So, pretty good. Pretty good indeed. So, I'm going to bring the camera over to the ultrasonic. I'll show you, put it on. What I do is I have, what am I using? I got in there. Simple green, I believe, is what I have inside there, and it's time to get it changed. I'll run these a couple times, and I'll change out the fluid because it's time. And so let me bring this over. Yeah, I know. Bounce, bounce, bounce. All right. They have the water heating. This gets up to about 140 degrees. And right on back. These here I'll actually I'll soak in evapor rust and get a lot of that stuff off of there. That's all the jets, carb bodies. And we'll put these in there for good measure. It's not going to hurt them, it's not going to help them. And we'll set it up for 30 minutes. Not sure if you can hear that or not. But that'll run like that for 30 minutes. Right now it's 80 degrees. And I'm sorry, 40 degrees, so it's just one good touch now, and that'll get eventually up to 40 degrees. And so yeah, that's my ultrasonic. Pretty nice. You can buy them on AliExpress or Temu. I think I paid $179 for it, something to that nature, and well worth the money. That saves, oh hell, that saves, Chris, usually 2 hours of, yeah, I'm really professional, aren't I, Russ? Of shop time, you know, 150 bucks an hour at most shops, you know, to clean a set of carbs, you know, pulling them out of the bike, that doesn't count. I'm going to clean this a little bit. There we go, very professional. So it's a $500 deal to, you know, drop a bike off and have a set of carbs cleaned. Obviously, if you're mechanically inclined, you can pump them out yourself. You're going to save yourself some bucks, probably hour, maybe 2, I don't know, depending on the bike. You know, to deinstall and install. So yeah, it pays. That thing pays for itself in one clean. And I've been using the one down at Freedom Cycle. They're good enough to let me use that thing. But it was, yeah, I was on the, you know, I don't want to take advantage. They're good people, and they you know, allow me to use the shop with a time machine and stuff like that. And you know, I go down and help out and work every once in a while. But I just had cortisone shot into my knees and stuff like that, so I'm kind of giving them a break as far as kneeling down and that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'll cut this off. I think they were only 15 minutes, so that ain't too bad. So yeah, I'll pop another video once I start taking the bike apart. I'll actually start taking bits off the bike. Once I know this motor is good, it's viable, I won't go any further than carburation. Get those things, I'll run it like twice. I'll come back out in a little while, run it again, and blow them out, you know, just with water, because that's water soluble. And put them back in the bike, get some gas into it. I want to hear that motor run and make sure I don't have a bad wristband, connecting rod, whatever. And so if the bike is not worth, if the motor was bad, to tear it apart and replace that kind of stuff, it's just not worth it. If that's the case, then I would just put the bike back together and sell it, you know, as a parts bike. I paid $50 for the motorcycle. So, you know, I've got, other than my travel time and that, is all I got in there. So, no harm, no foul. But if the motor is bad and it's a knocker, then the bike gets sold as a parts bike, and there's enough people out there, just like me, restoring these old bikes that would love good fenders, good rims, all the engine cases, electrics. That's a biggie with these old bikes. So it's once those carbs, and all I want to hear is a bum, 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 couple. Where'd it go? Bum, 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 bum. You know, 3 or 4 minutes of run time, just so I can get it up to temperature a little bit, so the oil thins out a little bit, make sure there's no knocks, and that's it. And once that happens, then all bets are off. Everything starts getting disassembled. So that I can paint the frame. This one, the frame is going to need to be painted. Chances are I'll strip it down enough where I can hang the bike, just get the motor out of it, get the airbox, all that crap out of the way so I can shoot it, and not have a bunch of stuff in my way. I would love to be able to have the money to have it powder coated, but you're talking, I don't know, $300 or so for a frame. You know, this is a cool bike, but it's not a sought-after motorcycle like, say, a Kawasaki KZ400, or that's a spectacle out there. CV754 is the early version. Those bikes are well worth spending the money on powder coating and stuff like that, because you're going to get the money back after you do a restoration. So anyway, that being said, I say it a lot, and I noticed in the last video, I do that a lot, so I'm trying not, you know, all these little ticks we have, and everybody has them. You don't realize it until you watch yourself on camera and you're like, holy cow. Like, really? Really, Russ? You know? But, okay. Well, it's been a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed this, and